Okay, for this section, we're going to do the limit definition of a derivative. It's gonna be okay. Are we ready? We're so ready for this, yo. Ready? So let's do problem number, I'm gonna call it quote unquote one. Okay. So let f of x equal x squared minus 1 over x. And we're going to use the limit definition. Okay. So I want you guys to note that f of x plus h means you plug all of x plus h into the function. Okay. So to keep myself organized, I'm actually going to do this first and then plug it into the whole x plus h minus x, I'll do that later. Okay. We're going to do those. We're going to write the definition down so we don't forget. The limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h, right? We know what this is. It's given to us, right? This is just some h, right? We know what that's supposed to do. What we don't have is f of x plus h. So let's work that out, shall we? So, like I said, f of x plus h means that you take x plus h and you substitute that whole thing into your function, okay? So I'll show you what that looks like. So our function is x squared minus 1 over x, right? So what I'll do is I'll actually write it out for you. X squared, right? Plus, oh, sorry, minus 1 over x. This is not true, okay? What you want is you want to replace this with x plus h, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to open this up. We're going to replace it with x plus h. Do you see this x here? You want to replace that as well, okay? X plus h. At this point, I would recommend you FOIL it without distributing anything or without doing anything with the bottom. I would recommend you FOIL this out. It'll be useful for later. Okay. So this is going to equal, it is not going to equal x squared plus h squared. Okay, don't do that. It's going to equal, however, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, right? And then minus 1. Right, you can leave these in parentheses if you like. You don't have to. All over, oops, all over x plus h. Cool. Not more we can do, nothing more we can do with this. So we're going to put a hold on it. All right. Now that we have this, we can plug it into here. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write out this whole thing. All right. So this is going to mean that f prime of x, right? Because this is equal to f prime x, right? And this is f. So what we're doing is we're taking the derivative of this function. That's why we call it f prime, okay? And that is going to equal the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h. So this guy. Let's copy paste this guy over because I didn't want to write all that. Right? Clean it up for you so you're not confused. Take this time to write down your thoughts. Right. Minus what? Oh, minus f of x. Okay, we can do that. We know what f of x is. F of x is x squared minus 1 over x all over h. Do you notice how this is wrapped in a layer of parentheses and this is as well. I told my in-person students that these parentheses are paying rent. They're paying Cambridge rent. No. These guys are paying Cambridge rent, and they're paying Cambridge rent to live inside these parentheses so this gets distributed out, okay? They pay rent. Make sure everything included in their rent shows up. All right? Okay. Now, what I would recommend is to actually not do this piece yet. I would actually combine these first. Okay? And so this is where algebra is going to get most of us. Okay? I'm going to do one more time as well. So I'm going to add a layer of parentheses, and you'll see why in a second. These don't have common denominators, right? X and X plus H are two very different things. It's like saying 5 and 7 are the same because, well, 7 is 5 plus 2. They're different. They're different, right? And so to make a common denominator, this side needs to have an X and this side needs to have an X plus H in parentheses, okay? They're being multiplied. Do not try to add them, okay? So this is exactly what we'll do. We'll write the top as, it's going to lose the pretty colors, I'm sorry. Or will it? It will not. We're going to write the top as what it is. I'm going to shimmy our notes down a little bit. And don't forget your limit as well, because that's what I did. I forgot the limit. Limit h approaches 0, right? Okay, we want common denominators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of space here, because we don't need those parentheses anymore. I'm going to multiply the top by x, the bottom by x, right? And on this side, we're going to multiply the top by x plus h and the bottom by x plus h. Again, parentheses are very important. They are paying rent, okay? Like that. If you're not convinced, please take a minute to convince yourselves. If you are convinced, nice. Okay. What we're going to do next is we're going to open a new page because a very common mistake I notice with students is you guys will kind of cram your work into like college rule paper. Don't do that. You will not be able to read it and you'll make a lot of mistakes. I actually recommend blank white paper. Okay. I know, bold. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to combine I'm going to combine these two together. Okay. And then we'll figure out this business after. And this is going to equal the limit as h approaches 0 of, okay, this is going to be dicey, but it's going to be okay. I'm going to write this out first. X parentheses x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Ah, don't forget, this distributes this way. Minus x, you see? Okay, again, this negative sign is part of the rent. So make sure to distribute the negative sign, okay? Minus, you're going to write x squared minus 1, x plus h, and because the denominators are the same, we have this all over h. Okay. Again, we haven't done a single lick of calc yet. This is still algebra, okay? And then I'm going to distribute this, right? And that's going to give lim h0. It's going to give us x cubed plus 2x squared h plus xh squared minus x minus the whole thing in parentheses, x cubed plus x squared h minus x minus h. Ooh. Ah, haha, I made a mistake. Can you guys catch it? I'll give you guys a second. For those of you with a keen eye, the mistake I made was I forgot the denominator. Don't do that. Forgot the denominator, please put it back. Okay. The denominator is going to be this piece, right? Because we just combined these two fractions until this guy. I know it's disgusting. I'm sorry. Okay, there's a problem here, you see. And the problem is this is really ugly. You see this, and you see this. Don't do that. Simplify it. Remember, if you have A over B divided by C over D, right? Keep, change, flip. Okay? This H is really H over 1. Okay? So let's combine them down. Make our lives easier. Should have done it earlier, but it's okay. And that's going to give the limit as H approaches 0 of, ready? This guy times 1 over H. Keep, change, flip. Which, get this, is going to equal this. And again, don't forget your limits. Easy money, right? And again, it's just algebra from here. Please don't FOIL anything. Don't do that. It's not worth it yet. Okay. Then we're going to start combining like terms. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, well, there's a negative sign here, so things should be okay. Now we're going to combine like terms. Okay, remember, this negative sign is part of the rent. So there's an x cubed here and a negative x cubed here. Cool. These two are different, so we can't combine them, all right? There is a 2x squared here and an x squared, 2x squared h here and an x squared h there. So this is going to become x squared h after you combine them, right? And then this guy doesn't have a buddy, no one here, but this guy does. And so does this guy. So they're the same. And that's going to leave us with the limit as h approaches 0 of x squared h plus xh squared. And this h is plus h here. Don't forget that. Okay. So altogether, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 terms, and we bring it down to 3. Okay. And that's going to be over x plus h. At this point, what I don't want you to do is go, whoop, cancels out. Don't do that. I'm have you factor, like civilized humans, okay? And you're going to write it as the limit as h approaches 0 of h. When you factor out that h, you're left with x squared plus xh plus 1 all over x plus h. These two h's are the same, so we can cancel them out by division, right? Gives you 1. That's going to equal limit h 0 x squared plus xh plus 1 all over x plus h. Now you can apply the derivative, okay? Now is the point in which you can plug 0 in for h because bad things stop happening, okay? You should, keyword should, end up with x squared plus 1 over x squared. So let's do another one. Let's say g of x is equal to the square root of x squared plus 8, right? And that means we know that g of x plus h is going to equal the square root of, be very careful now, x plus h squared. Okay? See how that's a square there? Like that. Okay? Plus 8. In fact, I'll do this white for you. Okay? And if you'd like, you're welcome to FOIL, but you do not have to. In fact, I am going to discourage it. Okay? And then you're going to say f prime, sorry, not f prime, because we're using g for our function today, or for this. G prime x is going to equal g x plus h minus g x all over h, limit as h approaches 0, right? And that's going to equal, well, we know what gx plus h is. It's this guy, right? And so we're going to write that as limit h approaches 0 of the square root of x plus h squared plus 8 minus the square root of x plus 8, x squared plus 8, sorry, all over h, right? It's very hard to work with this, but what we can do is multiply by the conjugate. So conjugates are root a minus root b can be multiplied by, on top and bottom, root a plus root b. Okay? So if we were to do that, I'm not going to write it out. I will not write it out. And the reason is because I expect you to know how to multiply by conjugates. And also my hand starts to hurt and I have a hand injury. Okay, big picture, if you're multiplying like p plus q and p minus q, that gives you p squared minus q squared, right? If you don't know how I got this, please FOIL it out and come back, okay? And so what I actually know is that if I multiply this by the conjugate, right? If I go limit h approaches 0 of, copy this so I don't have to write it, this guy, and then I multiply it by its conjugate on top and on the bottom, on top, and on the bottom as so. And again, I will not do this out because I expect you to know how to do algebra. Okay. And what you should, keyword should, end up with is the limit as h approaches 0 of this squared minus the squared. Okay. And that'll give you, let's see, x plus h squared plus 8 minus this whole thing squared. So parentheses x squared plus 8 all over h. Okay, important. This does not equal x squared plus h squared, okay? Because if you do that, you're going to get 0 over 0 or limit equals 0, and you're going to be very confused. Okay? What this should give you is the limit as h approaches 0 of x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 8, and then minus x squared plus 8 all over h, right? Again, you're going to go in and hunt around. There's an x squared here, and an x squared here, and an 8 here, and an 8 here. At this point, everything over here should cancel out with something over here. If it did not, you done goofed, okay? If you have like 4 terms here and you get rid of 2 terms, and somehow you end up with more than 2 over here or less than 2 over here, something is wrong. You done goofed, okay? And so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna simplify, and it's gonna be so easy. It's gonna be so nice. right? Because once you know what your like terms are, you can just go, oh, and that's going to equal the limit as h approaches 0 of this is gone, and this is gone, and this is gone, and this is gone. To leave you with 2xh plus h squared over h. We're going to factor like civilized humans. H, 2x plus h all over h. These two cancel out into 1. Okay, into 1. Limit h approaches 0 of 2x plus h. You apply the limit. That gives you 2x. That wasn't Wayman. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. I'm gonna sanity check my work really quick. Okay, sorry, I made a little goof. So once you do this, right, what you're gonna do is, well, you're gonna end up with a p plus q, p squared plus q squared business. And, hear me out, this, because you multiplied on the top and the bottom. So it's gonna give you x plus h squared plus 8 plus root x squared plus 8, yeah. And that's going to go for here as well, right? And then the oopsie haha, so I forgot to do that. Here, right? And when you have that, you can just kind of scooch, scooch, scooch there. And you're gonna put that over here, right? Again, big parentheses, yeah? And you're gonna shimmy it over here, right? And then you're gonna shimmy that, oopsies, over here. And don't forget that this is being divided. See, when you apply it here and here, well, there's nothing to do here. So when you apply it here, right, that just becomes x squared again, right? So you're going to end up with, not that, ignore that. You're going to end up with x squared plus 8 plus x squared plus 8. Oh, look, there's two of them. So 2 root x squared plus 8. Oh, look, and that should give you x over root x squared plus 8. Ta-da! I am not, I fear, immune from mistakes either. So please check your work. Be very, very aware of these things. I make mistakes too, and that is okay. All right. Do these problems. Take care. Shoot me an email or join office hours if you're confused, or come to my in-person hours. Okay, bye.